Hi and welcome to winemastery.co.uk. My name's John Lightfoot. Can I introduce?
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm from Lusus Wines.
And?
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm from Lusus Wines.
And we're here in the glorious countryside of Essex. Now these young couple have just started up, or are just in the process of starting up, an exciting new venture in the world of wine. And I thought it'd be fantastic to come and talk to them about how they got started, why they're doing it, and what they hope to offer you, the consumer. So I guess, you know, it's not something that you would, well, I certainly didn't grow up as a boy, thinking, oh, I must get into the wine world. So when did that happen? What was the trigger for you to get involved in the wine world? Because that's not you don't do that now, do you?
No, so that's not our current jobs as a full-time job, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we've both really kind of been passionate, haven't we, in with regards to wines, since we've been going out for quite a long time, married for a long time. So
how long is long?
We've been married 11 years.
11 years,
We've been dating since I was 17.
Oh wow!
And he was 18. Yes.
Oh wow!
So,
Yes.
but yeah, so we've have a lot of times where we've shared, haven't we?
Yes.
In our lives, and so we've had a lot of chance to share experiences, and lots of good experiences kind of involve wines or being in places which allow us to enjoy a nice drop of wine. And we've always been renowned, haven't we, as kind of not being...
Yeah, we always bring the interesting bottles of wine into sort of house, parties and things like that. Yeah.
So we're never kind of the bog standard what you expect just down the road. We always bring something a bit different when we had, dinner parties or host, stuff like that. So in terms of why we've picked Portuguese wines to focus on, because we have had, we do enjoy lots of different types of wines from different countries. But we go to Portugal quite a lot.
Okay.
So we've been going for...
This is for holidays,
For holidays, yeah.
Yes.
We've stayed in the Algarve. We've been there for 13 years, roughly. We've absolutely love it. And we've been to... a few other areas as well. So we went to Lisbon, and then also went to Lisbon, and then we've been further north as well last year, travelling around a little bit, going to the Douro area and visiting various vineyards. Yeah.
So and we really enjoy the Portuguese wines, but when we come back here, there's not as much options, or hardly any options, to be honest, is there? No,
that's right, yeah. One of the things we noticed was that there weren't many options at all within the supermarkets, and there's one or two on the shelves, but you've really got to look for them.
Yeah. And the wines they produce are amazing, and they've got their own specific grapes that they produced out there, and I don't think that the UK market are actually enjoying or really understand, to be honest, what these great wines.
Available.
Yeah.
And because obviously our connection was through Joanna and her vineyard in Lisbon, and I put a link to that, to where I met Joanna at the vineyard, and we discussed her business and what she's doing with wine. And certainly, the amount of attention and the love and the passion. Joanna, and I met some others while I was out there, some other vineyard, and you'll see those as well. But all of them were so passionate and such nice people as well. There wasn't that sort of competitive aggressiveness against their competitors. They all seemed to be sort of trying to swim in pulling the same boat, so to speak, all sort of going in the same direction. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of grapes out there that they were talking to me about these grapes, giving me all these great names, and I think apart from what's the one, the National Tag, I can't pronounce it.
Touriga Nacional.
Touriga, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like to pronounce it. Apart from that one, I've not really heard of the others, but they are phenomenal, aren't they? Phenomenal.
Yeah. So there's lots of different grapes that they use, lots of native grapes, and there's also the grapes such as Tinta Roriz, which they use quite a lot, which is also another word, a different name for Tempranillo, which is what they use in Rioja. So it's kind of, they use lots of different names for different grapes, and sometimes they're all grapes that are used in different countries, but other times they're just native grapes, and you've just got to understand really what the flavours are and nuances are.
Yeah, and a couple of them seems like Joanna was actually bringing in international grapes like Cab Sav and Merlot to actually mix and actually, you know, I think it's. I think the other thing is that a lot of their, you know, we're all quite used to in the UK. A lot of us are just used to buying a Cab Sav or a Shiraz, and actually are not used to necessarily, unless we're buying French wine, which tends to be, a lot of it tends to be blended anyway. Not used to buying it, but they actually have this skill, don't they, where they manage to match the grape to the taste they want, just to get the right balance, and so they get that consistency in the wine.
Yeah, they've got a very interesting way of doing it as well. So quite often they use one certain grape, and they use a field blend as well. So regularly they plant loads of different types of grapes down the vines, and they don't necessarily know what the grapes are. So they just take a bunch of grapes from the vines, and then you blend them and then make wines out of that as well.
Yeah. So, sorry.
I was going to say, I mean, when you're talking about picking up the grapes, I mean, we were very lucky this summer to visit the vineyards that we're now going to be working with to represent their wines in the UK and partner with them. And just seeing the passion and care on their vines, and that they know how they want to pick them, how they, you know, a lot of them are, you know, getting locals to come and help pick them, and they're following traditional processes, you know, the whole kind of stamping. I mean, all that is behind this one bottle of wine. It's fantastic. It's lovely to see it all. Yeah.
Coming back, you mentioned your name of your company was Luxus.
Lusus. Yes.
Yeah. That, I'm not even sure how you spell that.
So it's spelled Lusus.
Okay.
And he was the supposed son of Bacchus, who is the god of wine. He also was rumoured to found Lusitania, which became Portugal. So it's quite apt, really. That's why we chose the name.
How did you find that name? How did you?
Well,
it's not a name that sort of trips off.
No.
So I've kind of got a classical background. So I did Latin for my sins at school. From Greek. So I was quite keen to kind of get, you know, a bit of kind of that slant on the name. And obviously when you're trying to pick a name for your company, you want it to represent something, be meaningful, and be something different out there. So we looked up all these kind of mythical characters, and obviously, you know, ideas of wines and the stories behind wines and gods of wines, and we saw Lusus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that just clicked. That was it for you. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So you went around. So you went around Portugal. You loved the wine. You tried to buy the wine, and you couldn't. When you got back to the UK and couldn't. So you thought, well, if no one else is going to do it, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So how long did it take from making that decision, and how long ago was that decision? Because I mean, you might make the decision and think, oh, we need to get some cash together, because you don't sort of start a business on pennies. It does cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what was the process? How long did that take, and what sort of research did you do?
So we started in December last year. Yeah, last year.
Which is
2018. Yeah.
Just that this might be being seen in 2022. So.
True. And it took a few months to go through all the legal requirements to become a trading company, and as well dealing with alcohol and making sure that we've got the right, connections as well. So we were working with whole warehouses as well. So trying to get an understanding about how the wines are going to get transported across from Portugal to the UK as well, and where it's going to be stored as well. So trying to get an understanding about how that was all fitted.
Yeah. And then we initially started a relationship then, once we got the legalities in place, with a specific vineyard who we selected because I love their sparkling.
Okay. That's good. What better reason?
Yes. So we got in contact with them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we absolutely love their sparkling wine. It was just amazing.
What's it called?
It's called Quinta de Porco Lobo.
Easy for you to say.
And it's a blend of Arinto and Chardonnay grapes, and they do it in the traditional method. So they put it in a bottle, and in exactly the same as the French method. So they ferment it in the bottle upside down and twist it, occasionally just to mix the yeast up as well. So it's got a nice sort of bready flavour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very nice.
It's definitely one to try.
Yes.
Once you've tried it. So we have made initial contact with them and said, can we import some of your wines? And we had some, we got some kind of friends and family around, and we bought some, they're not just the sparkling, but other wines that the vineyard made. And we had a group of us, didn't we, tasting it to see, because when we were kind of researching about Portuguese wines over here, a lot of, I'd say, professionals in the industry were kind of cautious about Portuguese wines, and because they're saying the British don't understand or appreciate or know the grapes. So they said, I don't know, it might be okay drinking a bottle of Portuguese wine over in Portugal, but when you come out of the location, you're over here, it might not be appreciated as much. So we thought, okay, this is interesting kind of feedback. We're going to have our own kind of exploration of this. So we had a couple of groups, didn't we, tasting some Portuguese wines, different blends of grapes, and they all loved it, didn't they?
Yeah,
and,
it went down really well.
Really well, and they said it's so nice to taste something different and refreshing, and so that's kind of where it kind of boosted our confidence. We were kind of go down the right area, and, and made us then start exploring Portugal a bit more in terms of the areas we wanted to actually work with in terms of bringing the wines across for people to taste.
So how many vineyards are you representing, or you're putting wines in from in total?
So there's 4 vineyards, from different areas. So one from Beirara, which is I guess in between Lisbon and the Douro. And one from Lisbon, and 2 from Douro, different areas of the Douro area.
Okay. And how many different wines? This is going to be sold on a website, yes? And so how many wines are you starting? Because obviously a bit of business, presumably what you're doing is, you're continuing your research to add to that, but you've got to start somewhere. And also, I guess you've also got to test. I'm assuming you've also got to test that the choice that you've made is liked by your customer base. And so you have to test that before buying 6 warehouses loads of.
Yes.
I'm thinking, what we're going to do with this? Have a big party, but it's an expensive party.
Would be a good party.
Well, you wouldn't, because you'd be crying. So at the moment, how many actual sort of different wines, so for 4 vineyards, how many different bottles are you selling, would you say?
We've got around about 20. I think it's just under 20 actually. We've got, and those are the ones we've chosen to import at this point in time. But they also produce a few other wines as well. So if the take-up is interested in certain other wines as well, then we can pull those in as well.
Pull those in.
Okay. But what we tried to do, because we're a family business, we've kind of identified vineyards that are small and unknown, and the family behind it. And as you said, the people up there, the families are so welcoming and so lovely. And we've already had some fantastic relationships with vineyards. Just going out there and spending time with them, understanding the passion. It's also, when we come back, we're already passionate about the wine, but it just gives even more passion because you've seen, the love for how they're making the wines over there.
And actually really confident to talk about it and to sell it to customers. And not be worried that, I think there is no way that you can say to anybody, you will like this wine, because everyone has their own palate, don't they? And so, I might like it, but you might not, and vice versa. But actually, if you know that there's a quality behind it, quite a lot of people will say, actually, this isn't my style of wine, but it's interesting, and I can tell it's a good quality. So I mean, I guess that was my impression. Portugal sort of going for a bit of a renaissance in terms of it used to produce very cheap wine, if we go back 20, 30 years, but now it's very much focusing on quality wine. And I guess that's where you're targeting, because there's no point in you, and I doubt whether you could, I'm guessing, but you couldn't probably, compete with the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's in terms of the price point. So what is your philosophy in terms of, what you're offering the customer?
So we're offering kind of mid to mid-end range, mid to high-end range of Portuguese wines. Our cheapest is probably about £9, and then it ranges anything up to about £30 for a bottle.
Okay, right. I mean, John and I always had the saying that we believe that you can pay up to £30, and £30 is you're paying for the quality. Above that, you start to pay for either the brand or the scarcity of the wine, and probably the quality doesn't get a lot better. Interestingly, I interviewed Tim Aiken a week or so back, and his view was, well, no, actually, wines get more expensive, but it's the same as if you get in a Fiat, you can go from A to B, but everyone will prefer to get into a Ferrari. Well, personally, I prefer to get into an Aston, but anyway, that's another. So there is and everyone's entitled to their view on that. But I think you're right in terms of that sort of £30 mark is like there's quality in your pain. I must do a graphic, because there's only. I mean, if you're talking probably £13, a big chunk of that actually going in VAT, in import, the duty, the alcohol duty.
There's a lot.
The packaging, the transport. So actually, the price of the wine is you're not paying a lot for the actual quality wine, given everything that goes into it. So. There's a website. We're recording this in October 2019. Is the website actually up and running yet?
Yep, the website's up and running.
Running.
Yeah.
And any headaches with that? I know you're in IT, so I know who's going to get blamed.
Of course, yeah.
That's a problem. Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah. Support. No. It's good. It's up and running. It's live. So you can buy wines from lususwines.co.uk.
Fantastic. And the link will obviously be below, so you can click straight to that and take a look for yourself. Do you have plans to increase, beyond those 4 vineyards, or and if so, is that going to be a while? Or I guess it depends on the take up. Obviously finances won't, in terms of putting that cash out there to buy the stock in.
Yeah. I think for us. But we kind of had a discussion about this, and we wanted to represent Portugal enough, so hence going to the different vineyards. But I think we now need to focus on the UK for a bit to really, bring these wonderful wines over and allow people to enjoy these and want to come back for more, or want to explore that region of Portugal, whatever it is. So I think we're going to focus now on
selling.
Yes. Getting these wines out there and really promoting them and seeing what we can do that first. Absolutely. I mean, there's so many wonderful vineyards out in Portugal. We'd love to have more in our portfolio, but I think that's a little bit down the line for now.
You're right, because if you can have the best wine in the world, but if nobody knows about it, no one's going to come to you to buy it, are they? So you've got to get there. And are you, in terms of doing that, are you looking at using social media, or is that sort of one of your main?
Yeah, so we're using social media. We're doing wine tastings as well.
Oh, yeah. Where are the wine tastings?
So generally, we have hosted them here, and we also have been round to people's houses for it to be hosted as well.
Okay.
So
we've generally remained in Essex at the moment.
Slowly grow.
So that's been a good way to kind of spread the word. Exactly. We're also going to be at a local market. We're going to have a market stall, so more opportunities for more people to see and taste and smell our wonderful wines.
And there does seem to be quite a lot of interest within the Portuguese wines because they're becoming more consistent and more high in quality. So there have been a couple of people that have contacted us who distribute wines, and they're saying they're looking at expanding their Portuguese portfolio as well. So it's quite interesting times, really.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes it's just like with the doors just open and you step through it, and because you've stepped through it, you can see it happening. But yeah, like you guys were saying, I've not really until earlier this year not really considered Portuguese wines, but all of a sudden, I think it's a bit like when you buy a car, isn't it? Suddenly you see all of them there, and it's once your eyes open to something, you start spotting it everywhere. And but it does seem to happen in the UK. There is an interest, I think. And of course, Portugal has been an ally of ours and sort of close trading partner for centuries. So it's great to see that continue. Let's hope Brexit doesn't actually disrupt that too much, which must be a concern for you guys, obviously, in terms of what it's going to do in terms of import duties and stuff. But hey, I'm sure you'll overcome that. So websites where it's all going to be at. So in terms of to help our channel is sort of targeted towards the beginner. So out of your portfolio of wines, if someone was they like red wine, they like to Rioja. Which one would you recommend they go for in terms of your range?
It's a good question. So, I mean, this one is quite a good one. It's Frei João. It's a blend of different grapes. So it's got Baga, which is a traditional grape from the Beirada area. People will know that from, some people will know that from Matius, and they use Baga in Matius, but this is a blend of Baga, Tinta Roriz, which is Tempranillo, and Syrah, and it's a nice sort of.
It's been in oak, is it?
It's been aged in oak. It's fairly old. I think it's 2014.
But what we've tried to do on our website is we've tried as much as we can compare our bottles of wine with a grape that their consumer may understand.
That's very useful. Yeah. So if they like Cabernet Sauvignon, they can go down and say, "Oh, this is what you'd recommend."
Yeah, that's what we try to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I would suggest to people, if you like Cabernet, it's just every fifth bottle buy something different, because you never know, you might like it, and you might like a lot more than Cab Sauvignon. So you should always experiment. In terms of, as I said, the channel is targeted towards the beginner. What would each of you, if you can, give your top tip to somebody that's just beginning on their wine journey?
Yes, I would not pigeonhole myself into just saying I like those specific wines, specific grapes. I'd like to try different areas, different countries, even if you have for instance, a Tempranillo from Spain. Try it from Portugal as well, because they're very different grapes, because they've got different ground that the vines are grown in, and also different climate as well. So it's very exactly. It makes it very interesting, the world of wine.
Yeah, you can really get into it.
For me as well.
You've got those short sticky, because it's more difficult to answer the second time.
I'm thinking, I don't know. Like we did, we tried to bring different bottles of wine to different people. So, you always have the person in the group who is renowned for drinking a certain wine. But don't be afraid to branch off and try something a bit different, I suppose. Away from your usual Pinot Grigio or whatever you desire. Because there's so many different varieties of wine out there to taste.
And certainly there's by the sound of it, your sparkling wine, which sounds like very, very similar to champagne. It sounds like one to really to give a go. And presumably it hasn't got the same price tag as champagne.
No, not as much at all. No. It's we were absolutely amazed by the quality in the wine, and we'd definitely recommend it.
Yeah, and we also brought over some port.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yes.
That
Which
great
is
English wine. Like that other great English wine, sherry.
Yes. Which is very nice, isn't it? Do you want to talk a bit about that, Paul?
Okay, so it's a vintage 2017, so it's still quite young, but it's very, very nice, very tasty, fresh, fruity, unusually quite fruity for a port, and very fresh.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Very nice, very nice.
That's a red port, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's a red port,
Yeah,
yeah. And then that vineyard as well is producing some of the top quality reds and whites. They've recently had a Decanter Platinum Award, Best in Show, and yeah, that wine is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, very passionate.
Very passionate, winemaker. Yeah.
Yes. And his blends are very, very good. Although we were sitting by a pool in, the Douro Valley, whilst we were sampling them.
Was that having an effect on psychology?
Yeah, it was a bit like that, wasn't it? It was
like, sun out,
compared to the autumn that we're currently experiencing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, but I mean, Paul obviously is is the wine that we, in terms of the UK, it's its major wine group, isn't it? And it's that's never stopped. That base has always continued. So that'd be really interesting. And I guess I've only really sort of tasted classical ports, but I guess as well there is quite a diversity in terms of the taste of ports. If you become a connoisseur, not connoisseur, you try lots out available.
There's
Portugal.
There's very different types of ports that are available. You've got there's tawny, there's vintage, there's that's testing me now. White, red. That'll do.
No rosé though.
No rosé.
And no sparkling.
No sparkling. Maybe you're onto something.
Maybe. Okay, well that's great. Well, I'm really spent. Is there anything I've missed to ask you? Is there anything that I've missed in terms of the business that you're setting up?
I can't think of anything.
No. I think hopefully you'll see more of us. We really want to be able to promote these wines. Really, this whole business is to bring the passion of Portugal over here.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will help make people open their minds and consider some Portuguese wines.
Alternative wine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both very much for your time and your hospitality.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And it just wishes, on behalf of myself and the viewers, hopefully, wish you every success in your new venture. I know it's very brave, to go out, to spend that money, to put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and go for it. So well done, guys. And I wish you every success in your venture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, with that,
Yes.
cheers.
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 Cheers. Till next time, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.